Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning on today's webinar. My name's Jason. I'm going to be looking at some of the license updates and changes that have sort of come into effect recently. So I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay, and I'm assuming everyone can see my screen as well. But this is a series we started that's going to be sort of recurring over the next couple of months, looking at a specific topic each time. Something different. So if there's something in particular you want us to look at, by all means, let us know, and we'll cover that in the next one. But I think next time we're going to be potentially looking at the sort of changes to stun. But as I said, if you've got anything you want us to cover, by all means, let us know. I'm going to try and keep these, relatively short. They're supposed to be sort of bite-sized, so 10, 15 minutes, sort of at max. So well, let's get into it. Here now. So you should have a little questions or chat box down below. So by all means, if you've got any questions, let us know, and we'll be answering them at the end. Or it might be a case of we'll come back to you after the webinar if it's something that requires a bit more in-depth talking, really. But drop your questions in below, and we'll take a look at the end. Okay, so what are the sort of the main updates? There are, there's going to be some more sort of towards the end, but these are what I'm assuming you guys are probably already aware of, but it's mainly changes around the 3 key, so the 4 standard call license that has had some changes. So the 4 standard call now can only be 1 subscription per customer account. So essentially 1 subscription per end user. So if you have multiple users, if they've got multiple sites using multiple different keys, unfortunately you're going to have to get that changed over because there'll be only 1 license that is sort of going to be allowed going forward, and that will have to be registered with a unique email address. So you can't use a generic one, you want to use for 10 different licenses, so it has to be unique, essentially the end customer's email address. And these changes must be made by the end of this year, so the 31st of December. Now that's been extended. It was the 31st of June, but 3CX have extended that now to the end of the year to give you some more time to get the changes into effect. So there should be plenty of time, to get these implemented. The startup free is now going to be the main offering of the free key going forward, and you can just get that off the 3CX's website. So and there's also a features list on there as well, so you can take a look at what the license entails. So how do you actually sort of go about changing the license settings and getting them actually up to date to make sure you're all sorted? You'll have to navigate to within the management console, and from within the management console, you can go to your license settings section, and this is sort of the box that will appear. So you've got your license, you've got your product details. This is standard, obviously. Your forecall, it's got the license key, and then the registration details is really what we want to be looking at, because that will tell us the end user details, the email address, which needs to be unique. So we can see that all from there. Now it should be showing at the moment June, so 30th of June, but that will continue forward until the 31st of December. So get your licenses checked, make sure they are up to date, and so you're not going to have any issues when the changes are made. And if you've got any questions, just let me know and we can go through it. That's not an issue. But yeah, so that's sort of the part 1 of the main changes. So depending on the partner level, you can have a certain amount of free subscriptions. So obviously we've got a little chart here. So you've got bronze at 5, silver 25, 50, 75, and then 100. So if you need, this is one way of getting more or keeping, retaining some of those free keys, getting to the next partner level. It's quite a jump there from each sort of level, especially from bronze to silver, because 5 isn't a huge amount, but at silver you get 25. So get your partner level up and you can have some more licenses essentially. So and these licenses will need to be, as I said, registered to your end customer still. So there's some more changes happening to that's more recent changes, more broader towards towards all licenses. So you've got your 3 additional months have been added to the initial expiry date of all paid keys. So now every license key that you had is going to be extended by 3 months. So obviously now it's at 15 months, which is really great because it gives you 3 months on every single license. And this is not just limited to the actual license itself. So this is the hosting side of things as well. So you'll have your hosting and your main license, which has been extended. And if because of this, obviously you're going to be 3 months ahead now, which means potentially you're renewing at a later date, and obviously then the partner level target, you might be 3 months out essentially. So to combat this, 3CX have been kind enough to reduce the partner levels or reduce the partner level targets, as we can see on the sort of the right by this chart here. So Titanium now 100,000 in revenue, Platinum 35, Gold 17.5, Silver 7.5, and then Bronze still at 1,000. So that should help out in terms of the that 3 months. So hopefully it's only a net positive really, because you're not going to be affected with your partner level target either, which is really nice. So and then as well, there is going to be cash back on all 2023 sales. So this is going to be at 15%. So anything you sell, you'll be getting 15% back. Now that will be in 2024. So that will be a credit on your account. You'll have plenty of you'll be able to buy a couple of licenses with that money, depending on how much you spend. Now this hasn't been exactly finalized, so we'll be getting some more information sort of when that, when there's more details finalized. It's still being implemented from 3CX's end, but hopefully it's not too long before we get a bit more information on how it's actually going to work. But still really nice. So 15% on all 2023 sales. So that's really nice. And that's really it in terms of the changes on the license and licenses. Trying to keep it short and sweet, keep it sort of bite-sized. So I don't know if there are any questions on licenses that anyone's got. Anything you want me to go back over at all, just let me know. Let's have a quick look over here. Can't see anything as of yet, but it is fairly simple to understand. So maybe there's just not a huge amount of questions. But by all means, if there is something that's needed, further down the line, just let me know. My name's Jason. Just give us a call on ProView's main number, and just ask for Jason. You'll get through to me, and we can go over any changes if you've got questions. Further down the line, because I'm assuming there will be some down the line. But I'll give it a little bit longer here, see if there is any changes or questions. Sorry, no, don't think so. So well, that's about it. Short and sweet. We'll be sending out some information on the next one, which, as I said, is mostly going to be we think it's probably going to be around the changes to stun. So by all means, if you've got any suggestions, let us know. A recording will be sent to you guys as well. And if you've got any, if you do see any questions, or just let us know. But yeah, thanks for attending, all guys. As I said, any questions, just let us know. All right, thank you.